Hi guys, welcome to our last team call of 2016. I'm so excited to have you guys on this call with me tonight because we have so much good content that we're going to slam into hopefully about an hour of a call. We had the wonderful opportunity last week to go to Las Vegas to the GOPRO Recruiting Mastery event with Eric Worre and Richard Branson and Tony Robbins and lots of top earners from different network marketing companies that were just sharing all of their golden nuggets and all their tips and tricks to be successful with us. So I reached out to some of the people that went with us and some of the people that live streamed and thought, why not create a great opportunity for everyone to get all the information that they might have missed if they weren't with us in Las Vegas. So I am so grateful for all of our speakers tonight. Everyone is busy. Everyone has a lot going on, and I appreciate every single one of you taking the time to invest in your business tonight because these are the moments and these are the times that are going to pay you back. And when you treat this business like a business, it rewards you like a business. So thank you guys for taking the time tonight and making this a priority in your business and in your life. So we're going to jump right in, and of course I was thinking, how should we start this call off? What is the best way to do that? And I feel like if you guys know anything about Tony Robbins, he makes you focus on getting into like your peak consciousness, your level of amazingness before you take on anything that you do in your life, your business, your world. So Tina Fraley is going to jump in, and her speaker is Tony Robbins, so she's got some special stuff for us, and we're going to go ahead and get rolling with this call. So Tina, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, girl.
All right, can everybody hear me? All right, everybody stand up. You got to stand up. You got to get ready. You got to get in that peak state of mind. Everybody, do it. Get your hands up. All right, let's do this. And that is how he started us, and that is how I'm going to start us off. We are going to go in that peak state of mind because that is where we need to operate from. That allows us to have and receive optimal information and use it in the most effective ways. I'm going to cover 3 of the things that I feel Tony Robbins did absolutely amazingly and what that was. First off, am I still there? I'm seeing me instead of you guys. What did I do?
Nope, I did that. I'm going to spotlight the speakers, so that's who we all see.
Oh, okay. Why am I seeing me? Okay, so the first thing is he talks about changing your story. We as coaches, we do this every single day when we are working on us and we're taking our journey and when we're helping people to take theirs. The first step in that is developing a strategy, finding out what that approach is needed to get to the goal. And the example that I want to give with that is my own approach with that. I decided that I was going to change my story. I was no longer going to be the night owl. I was no longer going to be that person that just wasn't a morning person. I came back from last year's winter summit and decided that I was going to be a morning person. So every day, regardless of appointments, regardless of what the schedule said, my butt was up and out of that bed at 5 a.m. every day. I changed my story. I identified the story by finding out what my beliefs were about my life. I had been someone who kept reaffirming, I'm shy, I'm quiet, I don't know. I had to change that. So what I did was I decided that I was present, I was excited, and I would figure it out. No matter what it was, I was going to go balls to the wall, both feet in, and that's what I was going to do with everything. That was a part of changing my story. Then I had to figure out the third step, which was what state of being am I operating out of? Am I operating out of a peak and productive state, or am I operating out of a low and limiting state? Am I getting in my own way? So that was the change the story concept that he addressed with us. And then the other thing that he pointed out, which was pivotal, because you can't change your story unless you do this one thing first, and that's decide. You have to make the decisions. You have to go and sit there and reflect and go, okay, I'm ready, and now I'm going to do it. That decision in that moment is what pushes everything forward. It allows you to go in your business, in your personal life, and it gives you the opportunity, once you've learned that, to be able to teach it to your coaches and the clients that you have coming in. Now, the other thing that he talks about is breakthroughs. He defined a breakthrough as a moment in time where the impossible becomes possible. And as coaches, we have seen that time and time again in our own lives and in so many other people's lives that we're helping every single day to achieve that exact moment, that breakthrough in their own lives. The example that he had us all break up into partners, and we had to discuss 2 breakthroughs that we had come up with in our lives, what had happened, what triggered it, and what was the result. And my first one, of course, was my weight. That was one of my biggest breakthroughs through this journey for me. And what had happened was I was done feeling trapped in a body that no longer served me. What triggered it was I was done being angry about it, and I wanted to do something. What the result was, I wanted to serve an impact and couldn't do that from where I was, so I saw that I needed to change my story. And in that particular situation with my weight, my story was I'm big boned and I carry it well. I had to shift that. I had to change that. And I had to grow from that spot. The other thing that I wanted to, it was a quote. That was what I wanted to give you guys. He had talked several times about divorcing your story and marrying your truth. And that it resonated a lot. Every time we have the opportunity to meet with someone and sit down where they're at in their life, we're meeting them where they're at. And that's a point of discovery and identification and life changing in their own story. And we get to be a part of that we become a tool in that for them. By understanding these steps and that concept, we become a more efficient tool in our own lives. And we also become a better tool for the people that we come into contact with every single day. This is what he meant when he says, you don't lack resources, you need to be more resourceful. The concepts that he gave us during the conference were very reflective of who we can be, and by doing so authentically, it empowers us to be able to lift up the people around us. It allows us to not only grow ourselves, but to grow our teams, to grow the clientele that we come in contact with every single day. Even if they're not participating fully, we are still able to impact that life and make a change from where we are at and be available when they are ready to jump completely on and change their own story. So those are the 3 key points from Tony Robbins for me. The changing your story and his 3 steps of that strategy-wise. Develop the strategy, find out how you want to approach that goal, identify your story. What do you believe about your life? Where is your state of being? Is it peak and productive, or is it low and limiting? And are you deciding to make the decisions in your life that will allow you to be led to the breakthroughs? And then when you get to those breakthroughs, are you looking at what happened, what triggered them, and what the results can be? And I will leave you with remembering that you do not lack the resources. You need to be more resourceful in your own right, because we already have everything that we need to achieve and to accomplish all of the goals in life, in our business, in our personal relationships, in our education, and everything. We truly have everything that we need. We just need to put them to use. So that's all that I have for you, Jenna, on this one.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Tina. Oh, you guys can't see me. Sorry, I'm living it from with my phone, so weird angles. So anyway, that's fantastic, Tina. You know what? The thing that we get the most from Tony Robbins, I think, Tina hit the nail on the head, was really focusing on the keys for like a successful breakthrough in your business. And let's be honest, like how many of you need an aha moment every now and then? Right? Like you need that. We need that like smack in the head that's like, oh my goodness, like that's what I needed to get motivated again or get the fire lit again or to just be better at what I'm doing. So I wanted to share one or two quotes that I wrote down from him. They gave us these really cool notebooks, you guys, and we could just take notes the whole time. And one of the tips that he shared, and I want to kind of share this with you guys, it's in relation to marriage, which you guys know that's like one of my favorite topics. But he shared this quote that if you do what you did at the beginning of your marriage, there won't be an end. So let's just flip that for a second and talk about your business. When you started this business, you were eager and you were excited and you wanted to help as many people as you can because you were getting a transformation and you were going and getting results, and that got you really excited and that got you really loving the journey and the process and what we do. So are you still doing that now in your business? Are you still really excited? Are you still like doing the things you did in the beginning of the business where you made sure you were talking to people because you were excited and you made sure you did all your workouts because you were excited? Are you still doing those things? Because if not, guess what? You could start doing them again. You could fall in love with the process again. You could do those things that you did at the beginning of your relationship with Beachbody, and maybe, just maybe, it'll keep your relationship going with Beachbody. So that was one of the things he shared, which I totally wrote down so I could use for a marriage minute, because let's be real, I need some of those. But then the other thing that he said, where did I write it down? The one quote that he said that I thought was so important, because he talked for like 4 hours. So I was like, I don't know how much Tina's going to cover, because he covered a whole lot. So I'm glad you covered the breakthrough stuff, Tina. He said, make sure that you do more for others than anyone else can. If you're consistently doing more for others than anyone else can, your business is going to grow. There are, I don't even know, like 600,000 coaches now, some kind of crazy number like that. So why would somebody pick you over someone else to be their coach, to help them on this journey that's personal? What can you do that's above and beyond to help them on their journey? Do more than what others are doing, and you're going to be more successful. That is so important in this business. And with that being said, let's see. We're going to transition over to Kate. She's got some great stuff to share. Kate did a live stream, so she's jumping in here and sharing with us her favorite speaker from the live stream. So Kate, I'm going to turn it over to you, girl.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm going to share a little, it's only a 3-slide PowerPoint, more to keep me on track. Let's see here. All right, slowly coming up. All right, can you guys see my screen? Okay. All right, so I chose the speaker Jane Leach because I felt like what she talked about really resonated with where I'm at in my business right now. So the one quote that she said, or the one thing that she said was, don't make everything about you. And that really hit home for me because right now in my business, I've had this goal, and I've had this goal of hitting Success Club 10 over and over and over and over consistently, and I want to do it for a year, and I'm almost there, and that's what I've been focusing on. But in that process, I've noticed that I have slowly started to just think about that number and my goal and getting me to where I want to be. And I'm focusing less on my clients that I'm supposed to be helping and my coaches and my team. So when I heard her say this, it really hit home for me. Because a big reason of why I am hitting Success Club 10 is because of my clients. So I don't want to take that for granted. She says it should be about them and what struggles they're having. So whenever I talk to people in conversations, I try to ask them, what have they tried before that didn't work for them, what's their goal, things like that. In every conversation, those are the type of things that you want to talk about. You don't want to focus on just making the sale or just selling whatever challenge pack is on special. You want to make sure that you're really getting to know them and know what's going to work best for them. She also made a point. She said, how would you want to be approached or talked to if someone messaged you? I'm sure we've all gotten messages from people in other network marketing companies, and sometimes you're a little put off by them. It's just this big, long message about what products they have on sale, or you look like you would want to work from home, and they just word vomit all over you. Whenever you are messaging people, keep in mind what type of message would you want to receive, or what type of message did you receive? Personally, I remember my coach, Emily, contacted me probably 100 times before we ever even talked about Beachbody. She would just check in to see how I was doing. I was living in North Carolina at the time. She'd just check in to see how the weather was, just little things like that. It doesn't always have to be a big, complicated message. And another bullet point I had here was pretty much the same thing. Build relationships, ask about their kids, their family, things like that. It shows that you really care about them and you care about helping them, because you want to find out what's important to them. Second slide, she talked a lot about learning to be comfortable with no. And this was a huge thing for me. I think whenever I went diamond, I was reading the 10 times rule. And I know that he said something about this in there as well, is going for no. And the more no's you get, the more likely you are, or the closer you are to a yes. So Jane used this little, I don't know what you call it, example. And she said, the average 1-year-old hears the word no 400 times a day. By 5 years old, they've heard the word no over 200,000 times. By the time they're a teenager, they've heard the word no over 400,000 times. And as adults, we've heard the word no more times than we've heard the word yes. But yet, we're still afraid of the word no, even though we've been hearing it all of our lives. And I can totally relate to that. I was there. I used to hate privately messaging people. I used to hate reaching out about the business or about what I had to offer. Even if they would put the opportunity right in front of me, if somebody would post on Facebook and be like, I need to lose weight and how can you help me? I still wouldn't reach out because I was afraid of them rejecting me. So another thing she said was start conversations and embrace the activity. It's not going to be the first conversation that gets you a yes. Sometimes, like I said with Emily, she talked to me a gazillion times before we even talked about Beachbody. And that's what you need to be doing. The conversation doesn't always have to be about business or about weight loss or Beachbody. Just talk to people, build relationships, get to know them. Another thing is make notes of your previous conversations. So when you talk to someone, I like to write down when I talk to them, when I'll check back in with them, what we talked about, and I usually write like the specifics of what we talked about, because if you're starting conversations and you're talking to people every day, you're going to have a lot of people and you can't remember everything. So you always want to write that kind of stuff down. That way, whenever you reach back out to them, you can say, hey, how was your son's soccer game or something? Be specific, and it shows that you really care. One example that she used for if people did say no, and this is really great. You never just want them to say no and then just end with that. Just no, okay. So a thing that she said here, and I think this is a really good script that I'm going to save and, of course, make my own. But she said, it says, thanks for your honesty. I really appreciate it. However, I'm really passionate about what I'm doing, and although the time might not be right for you right now, can we keep in touch? Can I reach out in a few weeks and update you on what I'm doing and see where you're at? Because a lot of times, they're just not ready at that time. It's just not a good time for them, but it might be something that they want to talk about in a few months. And more times than not, they're going to reply yes to that. They would love to talk to you again. They would love for you to reach back out to them. And the final thing I have here, this was probably my favorite thing that she said. She says, that's the thing about this industry. You're not dipping your toe in to see if it works. You are in and you are fully committed. A lot of people, you get turned off by the no's and you get discouraged by the no's. But if you are showing up consistently every day and you're messaging those people every day, you're going to get a yes. She says people fail themselves because they don't do enough on a consistent basis. She made a really good point that she makes it a point to talk to 5 people a day. And she doesn't cheat that. So she doesn't like talk to 15 people on Monday and then she doesn't talk to anybody Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. She makes it a point to start new conversations and talk to 5 people a day, new conversations. And if you do 10 on Monday, you still do your 5 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't just quit the rest of the week. And another thing she said was know your stats. So know how many people you're talking to in a day. And like I said in the last slide, write down those details. And always set a time to check back in with them. I used to just say, okay, I'll check back in with you next week. But now if you actually ask them what day is good for you, what time is better for you, and actually stick to that, they're more likely to make themselves available so that you can check back in with them and talk to them again. And the last thing she said is, how many no's can you go for? And that is all I had on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. Jane was fantastic. She was great. And you, Kate, you literally said every single thing I wrote down. She was fantastic. And one of the things that she said that I think is really important in our business, you guys, she said in the beginning of her speaking, this is my forever business. This isn't I'm going to do this until it goes bad, or this isn't I'm going to just kind of Kate said, dip the toe in. This isn't my just whatever, it's the trend right now. She's like, this is my forever business. I'm going to do this forever because I believe in it that much that I'm going to do this forever. I love it. It's what I do. And when I share it with people, I let them know that they mean too much to me and this opportunity is too good not to share. As soon as she said that, I was like, for me, I don't waver on the commitment, but I waver on this being a job forever, for the rest of our life, the potential for that. And I think that is something, when she said, this is my forever business, I was like, oh, perfect, forever business. If I look at it as my forever business, I'm going to get up and do it every day. I'm not just going to do it on the days I feel okay or I feel interested in it. I'm going to do it forever. So that means I got to show up every day. And I loved her commitment to that business and her knowing and being so wholeheartedly full of her commitment to her business. This is too good of an opportunity not to share with other people. It's too good. And this is what I'm doing forever, so I'm going to share it. I loved it. Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing Jane Leach with us. I'm going to go through and let you guys know at the end of this call and when I post it, all of the speakers' names. You can actually look them up if you want to look at their TED Talks or anything additionally as well. Next up, we have Caitlin Wilson, who's just clearly an overachiever because she was all like, hey, I'd like to do one person. Actually, could I do 2 speakers? So Caitlin's going to jump in and share with you 2 awesome speakers that she took great notes on. So Caitlin, it's all yours, girl.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I am actually going to talk first. The first speaker is Jeff Roberti. I think I'm saying his name correctly. He really stuck out to me when I was listening to him live because he really just spoke to me about getting out of your own head and getting out of your own way when it comes to network marketing and this business. And the first thing that I wrote down when I was taking notes was, if you're in your head, you're dead. Speak from the heart. And I was like, ooh, okay, underline, let me write that down a little, star. And I had to write that down because for me, and I'm sure I can relate to many of you, that is probably the biggest area of struggle for myself. The self-doubt, the negative talk that I have with myself, the belief that I can't do this business, the belief that I can't be successful. And first and foremost, that was the first thing that he said. And I just was like, okay, this is going to be a really good speaker. So that was the first thing he said. And basically he talked about first and foremost, leading by example. We have to not only hold our team accountable, but hold ourselves accountable. So making sure that we look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, would somebody follow us? When you look at yourself, when you look at your news feed, or when you look at what you're doing in your daily activities, would you follow you? And do you have a good work ethic? So asking yourself those questions. Are you doing the necessary business activities to be successful in this business? And so those were those big two questions that he had asked us. Another thing that he shared with us was having that emotionally charged why. And we were very fortunate to have Arnold from corporate come and share a little bit with us in the house. I believe it was Wednesday. I think it was Diamond Night. And he really honed in on this with me because I have constantly compared my why to other people and saying, I don't feel like my why is strong enough. I don't feel like my why is as strong as this person or this person. And he pretty much was like, stop, comparing yourself to other people. And you have to really dig deep and figure out why it is that you're doing this business. And I think that is so important for us as coaches and individuals to really dig deep and figure out why it is that we do this and why we have the passion and purpose to do this business. We all fell in love with it for a reason, and we're still here. So there's obviously that reason that we continue to do this. What is it, ask yourself, what is it that's going to keep you up late and get up early in the morning to continue to build your business and to be successful on this journey? He made a huge point about, we are about adding value. And, this is something that you've probably heard many times from other calls, adding value to people's lives, making an impact, changing lives. It's not just about a challenge pack. It's not just about points and, hitting Success Club. Yes, those are benchmarks for us to be successful, but we truly are adding value to other people's lives. We're providing growth, we're providing happiness, and hopefully contributing to them being successful in their own lives. So making sure that we remember that and, remember that that's why we do what we do. Again, he is a network marketer for another company. He does not represent Beachbody. He honed in again on a vital behavior that Beachbody has, personal development, the importance of feeding the mind, and why it is so important that you can be super successful in something, but there's always room for growth, and there's always room for improvement in areas of your life that maybe you want to work on. So I thought that was great. He, all of the things that he was saying were Beachbody's vital behavior. So I was like, this is definitely hitting home for us. The last few things that I had written down were about relationships. And again, we are a relationship business. We connect with people. We listen to them. We talk with them about their goals, what they're struggling with, their areas that they want to improve on. So remembering that is super, super important, and putting other people's needs in front of our own. And finally, I hear this a lot, and I have said this many times to Jenna about, I have my business builders, and then I have coaches that say that they're ready to work, to jump right in, and it's crickets. And what did he say? Get new blood. you can't lift the weight for them. You have to raise your standards, continue to add new people to your network, to your team, because like you said, you cannot lift the weight for them. You can't do the work for them. You can guide them. You can show them what has worked for you, what you've been successful with, but ultimately it comes down to them and what they want, and if they want to be successful and do the work. So that is what I had. I don't know if, Jenna, you had any more. I probably talked way too fast, but that is what I had in my 2 pages of notes that they gave me.
No, I think you nailed it, Caitlin. The number one thing I think note-wise that you guys should take from this one is no one can lift your weights for you. And you cannot like, as soon as he said a workout analogy, I'm like, oh, okay. And Caitlin's right. Like he said, no one can lift your weights for you, and you cannot lift the weight for someone else. No matter how bad you want somebody else to be successful in this business, if they aren't putting in the work and lifting the weights and doing it, they're not going to be successful. Like, they have to do it. They have to do it. You cannot do it for them. And this guy has grossed over $100 million in network marketing. Like, everybody called him the $100 million man, because he was so humble, but just so honest with, if you just keep adding value to people, it's going to change your life, and it's, truly going to change theirs. And you're going to see a lot more of what you want and your goals achieved because you're putting other people first and you're focusing on theirs too. So Caitlin, you nailed that one, girl. Go for it. You want to jump into Gloria?
Sure.
Okay.
So I don't have as much information on Gloria, but the reason I wanted to share a little bit because, and I know a lot of people that were there live could agree with me, she just lifted us. I mean, she was so on fire. She just was very, she spoke very well. She was just so inspirational. And I believe she lives in Maryland. So I think that was also why I wanted to chat about her. She has a degree from Howard University and an MBA from Harvard. So, and my understanding is that she lives in Maryland. So I was super excited to hear from somebody that was local to our area. The first thing that I wrote down, and when she said this, I was like, okay, where's she going with this? But she said, you are entitled. And I was like, okay, that's interesting where she's going with this. But basically what she was saying was that people who, this entitlement is basically people who believe they are designed to have the right things, and that we are inherently deserving. So when she, explained all that, I'm like, you know what? Yes, we are. We as coaches, as entrepreneurs, as business builders are deserving of everything that we want in this life. And we have to believe that we are worth it. We have to believe that it's important. And she really honed in on that. And I loved that because, again, having that belief is just the foundation of being successful in this business, and truly knowing that we can do anything that we want in this life. So she had focused on being inherently deserving. There were actually a couple things that she shared about being the CEO of your own life. And so I wanted to share a couple of those with you that I wrote down. Number one was encouragement. You have to provide encouragement to the people around you, your challengers, your coaches, pretty much everybody that you have daily contact with. Give out more, you will give in. Give out the more you will give in. So providing encouragement and sharing with others. I mean, one of our vital behaviors is, positive reinforcement and recognition, and encouraging other people when, they're struggling, but also when they also have successes. So encouragement is one of the things she talked about. Number two, use your gifts unapologetically. So being aware of your strengths and using those gifts and sharing those with the people around you and sharing them in your business. She talked a lot about shaping your thinking. So again, this goes back to the personal development and shaping your mind to positive thinking, but also paying attention to your mind, because your mind can and will play tricks on you. I know, you know, for all of us, you know, we all struggle with obstacles and challenges in life, and we're going to have things in our mind that are going to tell us that we can't do it, or that we failed at something, so we're not going to be successful in this. And that is truly where you have to turn it around, dig deep into personal development, and understand that you are inherently deserving and you can do this. Another thing she talked about is understanding what makes you tick, what makes you upset, what makes you, you know, to determine how you can respond to that and how you can be a better person when you know that certain things aggravate you or make you upset. How can you respond to that in a better way for things in your business? And then the other thing that she had shared is about rewriting your story. Your past does not dictate your future. I know that you guys have probably heard this before, but it's so important to know that things that have happened in the past are not going to dictate what's going to happen to you in the future. You may have had a crappy life story situation in the past, but that doesn't mean that that is your future, and that doesn't mean that things can change and you can overcome those things. So rewriting your story and knowing that you are capable of doing so many wonderful things. So that was what I had. I know that there were probably a couple things that I missed, but some of my handwriting is chicken scratch on here. So.
No, that was fantastic. That was good. And, you know, she was so, you're right, Caitlin, she was so, like, just powerful in her demeanor and, like, delivery of the speech, because you could tell she was very confident in who she was in her own skin, and she knew how deserving she was of everything that she worked really hard to have. And that's a good reminder for us. Like, we are so deserving of everything that we work hard to have. Keep that in mind. That work hard part comes. And I like that she emphasized that, because, you know, unfortunately, and many of us fall into this millennial generation, which I think somebody might actually be speaking on that in our call tonight. And the entitlement doesn't always come with a good ring, right? Unfortunately. But she nailed it, because when you work hard, you are inherently deserving of those things that you're working hard for. And that's really important to recognize. So thank you so much, Caitlin, for sharing all that goodness with us. So next up, which, let's be honest, if you think of the most girly girl on our team, who immediately comes to your mind? If you say anyone other than Emily Burns, you don't know her well enough then. So the next speaker, Emily Burns, is going to be sharing with us tonight. There was a women's panel, and let's talk about numbers real quick. Women dominate network marketing all across the world. They gave us the statistics for the United States, but there was over 50 countries represented at this event, and women just dominate in network marketing. So of course there needed to be a women's panel to talk about what's going on, how it's working, and what women are doing to be successful. So who better than the most adorable girly girl on our team, Emily Burns, to share with us on this topic. Go ahead, girl.
All right. Hi, guys. So I'm going to set my timer because I've practiced this and just want to make sure that I'm on track with everything. So let me get my notes. All right. So I really, really, really enjoyed this women's panel, because not only because I'm a woman, but because there was this fabulous, they were all fabulous, but there was one particular speaker that really stuck out to me. And I know that you all know I'm faith-driven, and I know that our team is very faith-driven, so I want you to write her name down, Tiffany Malott. She is amazing, and I'm going to kind of share some quotes that she did, but I also have I have them numbered, 6 things that I'm going to go over tonight for you guys and compare it to our business as well. So there were either 7 or 8 women on this women's panel, and they didn't all have the perfect life before they became successful. And it goes with our business, because if you look at the top coaches right now, they didn't have the perfect life before they became successful in our business. We might not have had the perfect life before we became successful, or are going to become successful for our business. So they overcame their past, and made it work. They were pretty much all hardworking women, and they knew that there needed to be a change in their life. It was Tiffany that mentioned that her father was working so hard and he was getting ready to pass away, and he said there has to be a better way to make a six-figure income than what I'm doing. And his daughter went out and found a network marketing company and made it happen. So you have to remember that your past does not determine how successful you can be. So number 2, the advantages for women prospecting. And there was this quote that I just loved, because let's face it, there's probably all women on this call besides maybe Mark in the background or something. But give a woman a chance to be her best self, and she can change the world. And I love that because a lot of women compete and they are in competition with each other. But if we just empower and show how inspiring we are with each other, we can change the world. All right, so for prospecting women, they want to see the vision of this company. What's our vision? What's our mission statement? We want to overcome obesity. There's women out there that need us, that are struggling after they've had a baby, or that are struggling with binge eating or something like that, that we can help them overcome with the vision of our company. And we can show people that they can make a difference and create a movement of women. And what I want you guys to think about right now is, who are the top 10 in our company? They're all women. It's crazy to think that, but it's so cool to know that we as women can be up there as one of the top coaches on the team and or the company, and know that women are creating that movement. And all right, so number 3, this is really cool, and this is kind of going into the statistics that Jenna mentioned. So challenges of like the pay versus women and men in the workplace. So if you, like I mentioned, if you look, there's all women in our top company, like our business. But let's take an example of where my husband is. He's in a machine shop. Mostly men dominate that business. So they're already increased, their pay is already more than what we are getting paid. She mentioned that if it was going to continue to go this way, women will not have equal pay to men till 2058. And that is amazing. So why is network marketing better? And there was a story that a lady had told about women all over the world, because she traveled and she talked to a lot of people. And she saw that America has become and has gotten comfortable with whether it's their business, whether it's their life, the place they work. They've gotten comfortable. They're comfortable with their pay. So they're not pushing past their limits and pushing past the comfort zone. Comfort zone pushers, as Jenna always says. And they're just staying in that same spot. But when you go to women that are around the world, they appreciate the things that they have. The opportunities that are given to them, the network marketing opportunity, they appreciate it so much more, and they work harder at it. We have something that is very inexpensive to start, but this business holds so much value for so many people. It's a limitless business, and you know that you could spend time with your family and kids. And I learned that firsthand this year, that I can be present, I can be there when things are hard for my family, and I do not take that for granted at all. Number 4, can I be successful as a wife, a mom, and a single lady? Now, I'm not a mom, I'm a cat mom, but that's about it. But I want to portray it to everybody. So if you're single on this call, if you're married, if you are a mom, you want to be that best example for your family, for your kids, for your spouse, for whoever is around you. So lead by example. This so goes with our business because we hear it all the time. If you want to reach Success Club, if you want your team to reach Success Club, you better be hitting Success Club. If you want your team to add coaches, you better be adding coaches. So leading by example is what's going to push you forward. Get rid of the wife and the mom guilt. How many times we're sitting on this call right now, it's what, 8:46. We're having that guilt of not spending time with our spouse, or not being with our kids, or not being present with our family. But get rid of that guilt. You're building a business around your family. So nothing can stop you from building a lifestyle, and living your dreams. So make your family a part of this business. Sit them down, tell them this is what I'm going to do. You're going to be a part of it, and set that example and make them the reason of your business. This is a quote that I just had to share. I forget the woman's name, but some have a business but are not treating it like a business. I'll say that one more time. Some have a business, because clearly we're on this call, we have a business, but are not treating it as a business. And that so goes out to us, because Carl laid out 4 simple vitals to do every single day. And if we're not treating that like it's a business, we're not going to see the success that we want to move forward with our business. She had made the comment that she sat her family down and told them she has 90-minute blocks of time for her business. And after that, she will move on and spend time with her family. But if you're being upfront with people that are coming onto your team and letting them know that your family's probably going to be running in the background, your animals are going to go wild while you're on a team call, or your husband's going to walk in and just start yelling while you're sitting here, it's going to be more real, and they're going to know that you're a real person. So build a business with your family around, and teach others or your kids that there is a better way to live, and start acting like you have a business. Number 5, and I thought this was great for me to go after Caitlin, because she mentioned self-doubt. And the things that bring that self-doubt on are a not supportive family, or friends that don't, I guess, put you down for what you're doing, or don't agree with that. But people just want that love and connection. But when you start doing something that they don't agree with, they will start putting that disbelief in your mind, that you aren't worth it. You can't be successful. You can't lose the weight, and put all that on your mind, and it's just going to continue on repeat through your head because you heard it. That was my entire life. I was spoken to negatively my entire life, and I had to program my mind to think positive. And this is why personal development has been a huge thing for me this year in growing myself and getting out of my own head. So this is, I already told you this lady, I just loved her. So if you doubt yourself, you doubt God's plan for you. God didn't give you the dream not to go after it. Okay? And that is so freaking true. I had a dream to work from home, and I did it, and I made that dream come true. I know he didn't put that in my mind just to be like, nah, she doesn't want to do that. We'll just throw that to the side. So don't discount that. Your dreams are there for a reason. Other people telling you that you can't do it will get into your mind, like I said, and it'll be on repeat. So you were here to be successful. Get away from those people that put you down. They're just mad, they're jealous, they're scared of what you're doing because they don't think that they can do it. So they're going to put you down and tell you that you can't do this. Tell yourself that you've got this. God brought me this far, and he won't leave me. Amen. Amen. Everybody, amen. All right, so next, this is huge because we do this all the time. Stop the comparison game. We see somebody's transformation, we compare ours to theirs. We see somebody advancing their business, we compare ours to theirs. We see somebody getting a huge, awesome paycheck, and we compare what we're getting to theirs. Stop that. Stop it. I know it's always going to be there, but if you put as much focus into comparing your business as you do your business is going to be successful, and you're going to be successful. And what do they say? Put your blinders on. Focus on you. Focus on your story, focus on your transformation and your business, and just go. Stop complaining and put that focus on your business and that energy. All right, last one, number 6. Whew, I'm talking really fast. All right, how can you achieve your dreams? Everybody has a dream, everybody has a goal, everybody has something that they want to push forward. So you need to have a burning emotional connection to your why. It can't just be, I want to pay off my debt, because I tried it and it's not going to happen. You have to have a why of what you're going to do, what makes you want to move forward with your business. So make a plan and work consistently every single day on that. Be your best you. Don't worry about anybody else. Focus on you and be the best version of you can be. Your obstacles, make your obstacles your gift. So yeah, you're going to lose friends. Your past life is going to get in the way. Your parents getting divorced. Somebody cheating on you. See, that's your past, but somehow those turns into a gift. For me, my parents getting divorced was probably for the best. For somebody cheating on me, I would not have met my amazing husband. And that's just something that you have to look at as a gift. Don't let anyone tell you it isn't possible. Stop the gossip and hate, and let's empower and help each other. And she had 4 things to say about that. So stop feeling sorry for yourself. Embrace the pain, as in whatever you went through in your past, embrace it and move on from that and grow from that. Number 3 is don't compare. And this is where you need to write this down. If you compare yourself a lot or you find your mind drifting in that way, it's the thief of all joy. And I know y'all have probably heard that before, but it is. It's the thief of all joy. When you start comparing yourself to somebody else, you start to realize that, oh my gosh, my transformation isn't good enough, or my business isn't good enough, or what I'm doing isn't good enough. Stop it and get excited. I don't know why, but I feel really excited right now. I feel really ready to just, I don't know, run outside. I don't know. So get excited. God doesn't give a big fight to a little soldier. You have grown into the armor he knew you were ready to wear. And that is huge. That is so empowering. I don't know why. It just gives me all the feels, I guess. And the someday will always happen to you. Someday where life is just going in every direction. This comes up and then that comes up and then an unexpected bill. But life will always get in the way. It always will, no matter what. But now you are able to say yes to the things you used to say no to. So stop procrastinating and just go do it. All right, that's all I had.
Does anyone else want to go run outside with Emily excited right now? I mean, I know it's freezing, but we're crazy, so it's fine. I love it, Emily. Oh my gosh, you guys, the women's panel was incredible. Emily, you nailed it, and it was really just like reliving it all over again in all that you shared. The one thing I want to jump in here on the comparison game about is, and Caitlin and I had this conversation the other day. We were just talking about before and after photos, and take that before and after photo that you take, and that after picture of you, always compare it to your first before photo. And in your business, do the same thing. Where you're at in your business right now, compare it to where you were 2 years ago or where you were a year ago. Always compare to that first before photo or before whatever to now. That's it. You compare you to you always. Because I think that it really helps us focus on just comparing ourselves in a linear form versus us jumping off and comparing ourselves to somebody else, because your journey, your story, that's not theirs, and vice versa. So awesome work, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And yeah, get excited. Like, we should be excited about this business. We should be in love with this business. So next up, we have a fabulous speaker that is going to share with us on a panel that they did during the event that was all about social media. And of course, that's the way to build a business these days, especially in network marketing. So Kristen Dunn's going to jump in here and give us some info on building a business through social media.
Yeah, second time's a charm. Hey guys. So yes, as Jenna said, social media, we have at our fingertips an awesome way to build a business. And one of the things, I'm just going to kind of go through my notes. I thought it was awesome. They had, I think there were 6 speakers up there, and they just asked a few questions and went through, kind of went down the line, and a few key points, and then they went through like the biggest mistakes and then the biggest tips. So I'm going to go down my list and share that with you guys. I think one thing that was really cool and that resonated with me was that a lot of these things are kind of reminders, because I think we have some awesome leaders and on our team that have taught us a lot of these tips and things over and over again. So some of it was a reminder, and I like reminders because sometimes it also kind of fuels you and helps you feel like you know what you're doing, right? And that you're doing something right there. So, but a couple things, just key points. I'm looking back and forth here. So they said, I have a quote written down here, that nearly 50% of decisions are affected by social media. Okay, so you think about that. Like, if you want to buy something, if you want to go somewhere, what do? Like, you get on social media, you get online, you research it, you check things out. So 50% of decisions made are affected somehow by social media. And then the second leading, the second leading effect, I guess, would be word of mouth. So think about how many people we can reach through social media with decisions that people are making and things that they're doing. So just thinking about the reach that we have. And they also talked about the balance of social media and building those relationships online and on social media, but also bringing it into local events and face-to-face and kind of taking it offline. So another tip that they had there too was to use social media to kind of build that initial relationship and that initial connection, but take it offline and get personal with things. And that's really what our business is about. So a couple of those key points. So let's talk mistakes. And then we'll flip into the tips that they shared with us. So a couple of the mistakes they talked about is spamming people. And I think there are a lot of people on our team that talk about this and have hosted calls about it. But spamming, we're not spammers, we're not salespeople, right? So when we look at our social media wall and the things we're sharing, we are not Beachbody, right? We are each individuals. We each have a ton of value to share with other people. We each have our own individual story. We each have a ton of stuff to share with the world, right? And we have our own personalities that make us who we are. And we want to attract people like us, right? So share that and be yourself on social media. So that goes right into one of the tips, right? So a big mistake is spamming and identifying yourself with a company or a product instead of just being you. So they say their tip was to be bold, be authentic. Don't care about what people think. Put those blinders on, like Emily was just saying. And just be you. And that's what people want to connect with. They don't want to, Beachbody does their own advertising. They don't need us to post big ads and things like that on our walls. We are selling ourselves as coaches and as people who can help people change their lives. And so that was one of the biggest mistakes that they talked about. Another thing they talked about was, making sure that you're aware and thinking about what you're posting all of the time. So they talked about that you are always on, and make sure you're always on. And not using social media as a psychiatrist or a place to vent, right? And if you're going to, make sure you're thinking about does this add value in some way? Is this going to speak to my prospects and my followers in a way that I would want them to? Think about everything you do on social media is going to influence other people, and many of us use social media for our business and for coaching. So we want to keep it positive and keep it appropriate for what we would want on a business side. So they talked about kind of always being on, and another, I guess, mistake would be failing to show up consistently. So consistency is key. I think that's something we hear a lot too, and that we're really have a lot of support around as far as being consistent, showing up every day, being visible, being on people's mind. And again, that goes into authenticity and being yourself too, right? So you want to share who you are in all aspects of your life, and consistently share those things so that when people need something, they know that you're the person to go to for those fixes and solutions, right? So those are the mistakes. And how about some tips, right? So I already shared being bold and being authentic. They talked about messaging, which I think, again, is something that I have been taught over and over again in our team calls, is, personalizing it, sending those personal messages, speaking to individuals and not just speaking to the masses, right? So thinking about the people that we want to, the people that we want to target, the people that we want to work with, and the people that we want to be on our team, and speak to them. and and then also making it personal by doing those personal messages as well. Let's see. Another tip. So I like this one. They talked about being high tech versus high touch. So again, using social media to make that initial connection, but then getting face to face with people, face to face, or even a phone call, right? So taking it one level down and going, getting on the phone with somebody, getting on a Zoom chat with somebody, but using the technology to make that connection, but then getting the personal touch by connecting in other ways as well. So thinking about what you're posting on social media, and some of the, I like this tip as far as just a way to kind of piece it together is it shareable? So kind of like ask yourself about your post. Is it shareable? Is it remarkable? Is it likable? And is it authentic? So asking yourself those questions about the things that you're putting out there, and just making sure that it's adding value to your followers. Trying to see if I think that was all I had as far as tips go. The last thing that I had written down that I really liked too, and this was a common theme, I would say, that went through many of the speakers. It was just kind of said in a different way and applied to the different topics, but focus on the activity that leads to success rather than focusing on success itself. So again, what are we doing? What's our end goal when we're using social media for our business? We talk about attraction marketing, right? So we want to attract people onto our teams. We want to attract people into our challenge groups. We want to attract people and help them get ready to commit and live a healthier life, right? So focusing on those activities, reverse engineering that, and thinking about what can I do every day consistently on my social media platform that will help me get to that goal. Focus on that, do that every single day, fall in love with that process, and kind of step back from focusing solely on the success or the result itself. And those results will come. So I think that's what I had. There's one more thing that jumped my brain, but yeah, so I think a lot of really good reminders and tips to think about when we are using social media. The other thing that, again, I feel like I've heard this often, but it kind of sunk in with me again, but like picking one platform and mastering it, right? So I think about that a lot because sometimes I jump between, should I be on Instagram more? Should I be on Facebook? Should I be on Snapchat? Whatever. They talked about Facebook still being our leading social media platform. So focusing on a platform and being your best, and really understanding it before you move on and add something else, so that you're really good at what you're doing, kind of quality over quantity there, and being consistent on one platform before you jump to the next. So that's what I got for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. And the neat thing, and I think you nailed it, Kristen, was it's all stuff that we've heard before, but it's good reminders. It's good, hey, gut check, are you doing this? Hey, gut check, are you doing that? Just good reminders with social media, because we have great uplines. We have great, Beachbody is great with their social media advice and suggestions and how to build a business on social media too. So good reminders for sure. And the one thing that you said, Kristen, that I want to drive home is about when you're sharing or when you're making posts, is it shareable? Is it likable? Is it things that are adding value to people? You guys, it's December. Next month, everyone magically, suddenly cares about their health again. January, it's just the magical health month. So if you're adding value and content right now that's shareable, likable, that's adding value, guess what? That's going to help people and remind them in January when magically they're ready to get healthy again. Hey, you know what? Allison made that post, and that was something that I found value in, or it had to do with health and wellness. I'm going to reach out and talk to her. So make sure that you're sharing content right now that's valuable, so that people know like you're the go-to health and wellness person in their life when health and wellness is really the in thing, again. So awesome content. Thank you so much, Kristen. We were supposed to have the lovely Nicole Murray with us this evening to be our next speaker. Unfortunately, she's sick. So she's actually going to make a video for you guys and post it in our team page tomorrow, sharing on her topic. So we're going to skip over her. We hope that she gets better so soon. And we're going to jump into Allison speaking. Allison is speaking on a speaker tonight, John Addison, who I have actually had the pleasure of seeing speak live at Beachbody's leadership event last year. And just, oh my gosh, what she's going to share with you it's something you need to have your notes out for. It's going to be really good. So let's go ahead and jump into Allison's section. No, that was totally no pressure, Allison.
Not at all, Jenna. I might need you to jump in here and give us some Tony wake up, because other than Jenna finishing it up, I am the last speaker and we've been on a call for a while. But what I'm going to tell you about John Addison, he was so motivating. Sorry, I jumped and I hit my screen without sharing screen. Everything he had to say was all about pumping you up, believing in yourself, and believing that where you are at this exact moment is where you are supposed to be. So I'm going to share my screen with you if I remember how to do that. Where do I do that? Oh, share screen.
Yep,
okay.
down at the bottom. Yep.
All right, this way. All right, can you guys see my screen?
There we go.
Yeah, okay. So your life will be determined by no one but you. And that is pretty much what he went on and on saying, that there's so many people in this world that are average, but you need to separate yourself from the crowd and just be the best version of you that you can be. And like I just said a second ago, there is a purpose and a plan for where you are at that moment. And it's sometimes really, really hard to see that big picture, especially if you're in the middle of something not so happy, which I know all of us have gone through. But there is a reason, and sometimes those obstacles can actually be a blessing and a gift, which is what my personal journey is about. So when he was speaking, I was like eating it all up. He also talks about your tribe and who are you going to give the keys to your brain to, and surrounding yourself with people that are going to lift you up and make you feel alive and feel better. We all have those people in our lives that are negative, and who, when we either started this journey or even still 2.5 years later, don't understand your journey, laugh at you and make fun of you, but it's just because they're jealous. And it's just because, like some of the other speakers that have spoken today said, that they don't believe that they can do what we're doing. And what he says, though, is that if you're not making people laugh at you, and you're not making people curious or wonder what the heck you're doing, then you're not thinking big enough. So you need people to laugh at you, because that means you are reaching your own potential and what you can do. How to is not worth anything without a why to. And I thought about this so much, and it just goes as far as we relate to our business, is the why. The why with our challengers. We need to dig deep, and we need to figure out the why with every single person that we connect with, in order to be able to serve them with everything we've got and help them get the results that they're looking for. And nothing without a very important why is worth anything. He also talks a lot about just being grateful. Everything is in the moment. Everything is, forget about yesterday, forget about tomorrow. You're living now in this present. Wake up every day. Smile. Be grateful that your feet can touch the floor. Be grateful that you can walk to the bathroom when you wake up in the morning. Be grateful that you can make your own breakfast, that you can open the blinds, that you can make your bed. Every little thing that so many people take for granted I have tried to, I read a book, which this reminds me of, and it was God Never Blinks. And everything he talks about reminds me of this book because it was about a woman fighting cancer. The first story, it's about a bunch of different stories. And it was how she changed her wording from, I have to do this, I have to do the laundry, I have to cook, I have to go grocery shopping, to like, I get to do these things because there's so many people laying in hospital beds or, you know, in tough jobs who don't get to do the things that we can just get to do on a daily basis. So it's being grateful for this moment. Attack that day with that positive energy. Be a daily goal setter. Right there, wake up, smile. And he was talking about there's only two things that we can control. That whole, you know, control the controllable or not. But two things we can control. And that's our attitude and our activity. And if we wake up and we embrace the day with the right attitude and we do the right things to correlate with that attitude, then we're on the right track. So let that positive energy and that gratefulness become a way of life, turning those obstacles into gifts. You do not, and this was really funny when he said this, we all got a kick out of this. You do not have to spend your life working at a job for a BOSS that is actually a double SOB spelled backwards. We have the power within us to do everything that we want to do. You can know everything that you need to know in this business, but if you aren't burning with a passion, then you're really never going to make it. You have to believe in everything that you do every single day, and it starts with believing in yourself. Stop making excuses on why you can't do something and do it. He says, think bigger, see yourself bigger, dream bigger, and if you're big enough for your dreams, then your dreams aren't big enough for you. Here it is again, showing living in the moment. Life is so short. You know, the news, everything, you can't, you know, turn on the news without seeing tragedy after tragedy. This is it. We have one shot. You're not going to get a do-over. This is your life. You are responsible for everything. And the one thing that, you know, there's been so many different interviews about people when they're pretty much lying on their deathbed, and it's not the things that they did get to do or their regrets. It's all the things that they didn't get to do. It's that living. So make today your masterpiece. Get up every day with that passion. Be a daily go-getter, a risk taker, and surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. He says, if your thinking is stinking, then your team's going to be shrinking, which I thought was really funny. We need to be the example for our team. We need to have that positive energy, and we need to let it spill out. And there's going to be times when we don't want to do things, and when, it's hard, but that's when personal development comes in. That's when plugging yourself into a call like this or any of our team calls, because God knows there's a lot of them with all of our teams. There's Monday night, Tuesday night, Thursday night, your own team calls. There's so much that you can plug into to get lifted by our team. But it all starts with you. You need to be the change. We are not human beings. We are human becomings. You need to don't just go through life. You need to grow through life. You need to constantly embrace that you want and you deserve more. There's 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. That one's yesterday and the other's tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, and do. And mostly live. He also talks a lot about that if everyone were more positive, just imagine, because there's so much negativity, the world would be such a different place if it was replaced by that positivity. And thinking about this call, I was sitting at church on Sunday, and the pastor, we had a guest speaker, and I wish I had a chance to put the image up there, but I actually posted it on my page. He says that when God messes up your plan, he's guiding you into his plan. And that just like touched me so much, because there's so many times where, you know, we set out and we want X, Y, Z, but then when something doesn't happen, it deters us, we just give up. And I don't think that that's ever what we're supposed to do. I think we just need to figure out a different way to get where we want to go. So John Addison, just to me, was all about believing in yourself and living in the moment and not settling for anything. Something that I always say to myself, it's just an affirmation, I have it taped to my computer and I'll share with you, is God created me in greatness and I believe to be any less. I refuse to live small and live beneath myself. And my purpose is to serve. And that, I believe, is what he is about, is just embracing everything and living for the moment. And that's kind of what my team's about. So that's why he really spoke to me. So thank you for letting me share on him.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh, that was fantastic, Allison. Thank you. Let me get our live video set up too. Okay, so oh my gosh, that just spoke to my heart. Thank you, Allison. And thank you for sharing what you have on your screen too. Like, I really appreciate that, because we all need those reminders. And quite honestly, like, it's just nice to hear what other people are doing and what is helping motivate other coaches on our team and in our family. So I told the group that I was going to go out and end this call last. So I have a couple things for you that I want you to think about with this call. First off, let me thank all of our speakers. We had Tina, Kate, Caitlin, Emily, Kristen, and Allison. Thank you guys so much for speaking on this call tonight. I greatly appreciate every single one of you for taking the time to do that. The live video posted up there. Okay, so let me end this call for you guys, because we had so much great content. It's going to be one you want to go back and listen to. I know a lot of you took notes, but I'm going to give you a couple things to think about. At the end of Tony Robbins' sharing, it got real. And I mean, it got real, and like, we talked about something pretty serious that I want to address and kind of get real with on this call. So there's a phrase that he said that I want you to write down. The phrase is, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. So at this point in Tony Robbins speaking, he brought up Robin Williams. And he said, this man made so many people happy, had made millions of dollars doing what he did, and still hung himself alone in his house for his family to find him. And when he said that, like, the whole room kind of went silent, because, we were in this big, like, pumped up, motivating, inspiring room. And he said that phrase, and then he gave us that scenario. And you have to think about that. So you can have all the success in the world, defined however you'd like it to be defined, but without the fulfillment of what you're doing and the passion and the love behind what you're doing, it's failure. It's always going to be failure. So with what we're doing, we have the power to rescue people every day from desperate situations. Being broke, being unhealthy, being unhappy, being miserable. We have the power to rescue them from these desperate situations and help them find fulfillment in their life in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's a workout DVD, but let's be real. How many of us are just bought the workout DVD, right? Like, our lives have changed so much more than Beachbody just being about that. So know that we have the power to rescue people from all of those desperate situations that they are in. And we can create that fulfillment so that it helps fill our cup, but ultimately it helps change lives and all the lives of people around us, so that they get that opportunity to know what success looks like in their life and feel that energy and that excitement on the fact that their life doesn't have to be in a desperate situation any longer. Because how many of you on this call right now were in a desperate situation and your coach made a post, or your coach sent a message, or your coach was just being a friend, and that has changed your entire life? You're no longer in that desperate situation. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Like Allison said, how many of you are there now? You have the power to take people and do that in their life through fitness, through nutrition, through being a good friend, through being a motivating coach, through doing your workouts and inspiring people by just sharing a post on social media. You have the power to do that. You have the power to change someone's life. You are inherently deserving of the power to change someone's life, starting with your own. But you have to show up every day and you have to be consistent so that you can go help people do that and see that they have all of that within them. So guys, please, if you've taken nothing from this call, please take that you are inherently deserving and that you have the power to change someone's life, but you've got to show up and you've got to be there to do that. I'm so grateful for every one of you. 2016 has been incredible, and I cannot wait to see what you guys do with 2017. Thank you for this opportunity, and go end this year strong and change lives. Take care, guys. Good night.